Hello, my name is Sheila Quinones, and I'm Professional Outreach Coordinator with St. Francis Reflections Life Stage Care. I would like to introduce our chaplain, Pam McMillan, who has prepared a special presentation on spiritual care. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you so much for having me. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today and to talk about one of my favorite subjects of all time, spirituality. Now, to get us started, I'd actually like us to do a spiritual exercise, one that I do quite often with our staff, something called a clenched fist stress exercise. Now, I will tell you what we're doing before we get started so you know. Essentially, what we will be doing is we'll be closing our eyes, we'll be focusing on the things that are causing us stress, we'll be making two fists, clenching the whole time, and then when we feel the time to release, we will release, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. If you do suffer from arthritis, we do ask that you just be mindful of that so you're not stressing yourself out. So I'd invite you now to close your eyes, take a deep breath, inhale in, exhale out, and take both hands in front of you and make two clenched fists. Now here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to focus on what is causing you stress in this moment. What is causing you anger? What is causing you frustration? What is causing you fear? Focus on these things and send all of that negative energy to your fists. Allow yourself to clench, to grip, to let that stress all be sent to your hands. Let yourself feel. Don't deny, but let yourself feel it and send it all to your fists. And when you are ready, you will give yourself the permission, and you alone, to open your hands and to release. And feel all of that stress, that anxiety, that fear, that weightedness. Feel it fall away from your hands and from your body. Allow it to drip from your hands and to free yourself of all that you were holding on to. Take a few deep breaths here. And now, when you are ready, open your eyes and turn over your hands. Your hands may now appear empty, but I see it as something different. Now that you have given yourself the permission to release all that you are holding on to, your hands are now open to receiving the good things of this world. Blessings like hope, peace, and love. This is an exercise I do quite frequently when my heart is feeling heavy, when I'm feeling a lot of stress. And it reminds me that it's okay to feel, but that I have to be the one to give myself the permission to let go and open myself to good things in this world. I invite you to use this experience whenever you are feeling stressed and whenever you need to boost your spirit. Thank you so much for participating in that. And now, as I said before, I want to talk to you today about spirituality. Spirituality is one of my all-time favorite subjects to talk about. And it's so much bigger than we oftentimes give itself credit. Spirituality is the broad concept of a belief in something bigger than yourself. It may involve religious traditions centering in a belief in a higher power, but it's so much bigger than that because it's the idea that there is more than we can see and taste and touch and smell. For millennium, people have been wrestling with these topics, wrestling with what it means to give this life meaning and how we can have connection to the universe and much more beyond it. It's something that we all take part of on a regular basis, whether we realize it or not. For those of us like myself that are religious, this is where I find my biggest connection to the world around me. My faith gives my life meaning, and I see a connection to a higher power and a higher deity. The idea of spirituality is that there's something that connects us all, and that we wrestle with these questions that are bigger than themselves. Spiritual practices often help us in this journey, things like prayer, walking through nature. All of these things help us to see as life bigger than ourselves. Now, I will share with you one of my all-time favorite quotes about spirituality. This is from author Brené Brown. She says this: "Spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. Practicing spirituality brings a sense of perspective, meaning, and purpose to our lives." What I love so much about that definition is not only does it remind us that there is a connection to all of us by a power bigger than great of us, but that connection that is grounded in love and compassion and well-being. When I think about spirituality, when I think about what we practice in spirituality, whether it be our personal faith or any sort of journey, I think of the three things that we all need to be attached to. There are three major components of any spiritual journey. And they're things that we on a regular basis crave and need to look outside of ourselves to find meaning for. The first, as is said in Brené Brown's definition, is connection. We, as humans, desire connection, not only with each other, not only with friends and with family, but we want to feel connected to, again, something bigger than ourselves. Some may call it God, some may call it the universe. But there is an understanding that there is a power much bigger than each and every one of us. And we want to be connected to that power. We want it to be connected to each other and connected to the ground below us. So I ask you, what are you connected to? How has that connection fulfilled your life? How are you connected to the people around you? And how has that brought you joy, peace, or love? For a lot of us who are religious, we are connected to a God who has created this earth, who has created each of us, and who walks with us on this journey. But of course, this can be much bigger than just that. So that's a question that we can all wrestle with on a regular basis. The other question, another question that we all must wrestle with when it comes to issues of spirituality, is meaning. So many of us want to know why we are here. What is our purpose? What are we supposed to do with our lives? What I love about this is that this is an ongoing question for each and every one of us. Perhaps at one point in your life, the greatest meaning, the greatest purpose was to be a parent or to work with a certain employer. That may change over time because your meaning, your purpose, your direction in life, why you are here is fluid. It's not necessarily always the same. It can change and grow with each and every one of us. And so we might find ourselves, when we find ourselves questioning what our meaning and purpose is, that's when we can start feeling distress. That's when we can start feeling anxiety. And so this, like I said, is an ongoing question. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What gives my life meaning? And I don't necessarily have the answer for you because it's different for every single person. You know, my mom, she's a wonderful woman and she's deeply religious. But another thing that she does that gives her life meaning, and this might sound silly, but trust me, she likes making cakes for her family. She's been decorating cakes for as long as I've been alive. And what's beautiful about this is that she puts time and energy and care and love into every single cake she decorates. And it brings every single person in her life joy. This is part of her meaning. And this is deeply spiritual because it gives her life purpose It helps to build the connection with the people around her that she loves. She might not see it as a spiritual practice, but I do, because it gives her life meaning and joy. So I invite you to ask that question. What gives yourself meaning? What gives your life meaning? And what gives your life purpose? Last but not least, another aspect of spirituality that is incredibly important is peace. I am a hospice chaplain, and this is one of the most important things that we see that people need as they end as they end their life, as they enter the end of their life. Peace is something that we all long for. When we experience moments of fear, anger, anxiety, or stress, as we did in that first opening exercise, we long for peace. We long for serenity. We long to work through whatever it is that is causing us painful feelings so that we may be at ease, that we may be at peace. This is an incredibly important part of most major religions, most faith traditions. In fact, Christianity, Judaism, many faith traditions all focus on the need to find peace, serenity, and well-being. And whatever it is that may help find peace in our lives, we hold on to those things. We hold on to them and we seek them out. For me, one of the things that always helps to bring me peace is to spend time in prayer, spend time in quiet reflection about whatever it is. I find that whenever I spend my time in silence, I still my heart, I quiet my mind, and I am allowed to enter into a time of peace and give my mind a rest. Because I don't know about you, but my mind can run a little crazy sometimes. And so by giving myself that time and that practice of spirituality to be quiet, to pray, and to meditate, I'm giving myself a chance to have peace. So I ask you this: what gives you peace? What gives you serenity? Maybe it is prayer. Maybe it's going outside. Maybe it's reading or fishing. I don't know what it is for you, but it's important to identify what gives you peace, what helps you feel connected, what gives your life meaning, and then to pursue those things. This is what it means to be spiritual. And religion plays a very important part to all of these things. If you find that your religion is not helping you find connection, meaning, and peace, I'd invite you to explore those things. Ask yourselves these questions. Where can I find connection, meaning, and peace within my faith tradition? Now, here's one of the best parts about all of this. This spirituality, this idea of looking outside of ourselves to find meaning and hope and peace, it actually has real world benefits. There's actual evidence that there are health benefits to practicing spirituality. And I'd like to share them with you right now, if I can find them. Just a moment. I'm so sorry. Spirituality and things like prayer have been linked to better health, greater psychological well-being, less depression, less hypertension, less stress, even during difficult times, more positive feelings, and a superior ability to handle stress. There have been studies that have shown people who have spent time in prayer and meditation having experienced lower blood pressure, more blood flow to the front of the brain and to the prefrontal cortex, which allows for better thought processes and decision-making skills. Our spirit, our minds, our bodies, and our souls are all interconnected. And when one of them is out of balance, we need to fix it. As a chaplain, that's part of my job, is to focus on the needs of the soul. So when I come into a patient's room and I start talking to them, I try and figure out what is causing that soul distress, what is causing that soul pain, and how can I help offer help and peace to that person? How can I help them get to a place where their spirituality is a gift and a strength? as I'm sure it is for each and every one of you. I've heard that many of you have a very strong faith, a very strong religion, and that, I am sure, brings you all such peace and well-being in your soul. I do encourage you to continue on this path, to continue to seek these things that give your life meaning, to seek answers beyond yourself, and to find quiet time to reflect and find peace. I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I would like to close with a blessing for you all, if I can find it. Receive this blessing. May you be at peace today. May the living spirit, the source of all that is nurturing and kind, come into your life today, like an unexpected breeze, gently but clearly. May you feel that presence all around you as it lifts the burdens from your shoulders, taking away the worry or the anxiety, the fear or the pain, offering you a deep moment of perfect rest. May you be renewed in your own spirit, strengthened in your mind, body as well, filled with energy that only hope can provide. You have given a great deal of yourself over these last many days. Now let it be a time for you to receive something in return. Open your mind, open your heart, and be filled with peace that surpasses all of our understanding. Be made one with what you love most. Be at peace and know that your faith has made you whole. Thank you so much again. This has been a pleasure and an honor. I will be praying for you all.
Thank you, Pam. This has been informative and you've given us a lot to think about. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed.